Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to another episode of The Game According to Me. If you have not heard this podcast before, what we do here is we recap what went down last week in college and pro football, and we preview what's going to happen in this upcoming week in college and pro football. But first, as always, we hit the college game. So like I mentioned, we start with the college football game. We start with Baylor beating Iowa State 31-24. Pittsburgh played Rhode Island. They beat them up 45-24. Michigan had a hell of a game against Maryland. They won by 7 points, 34-27. Georgia beat Kent State 39-22. Although it looked like Kent State was going to make a game of it, Georgia, the number one team in the nation, proved that they're still that team. Penn State beat Central Michigan 33-14. Wake Forest went to overtime with Clemson, but lost 51-45. Minnesota beat Michigan State 34-7. Florida lost to Tennessee the second time in like 18 tries. Tennessee has beat Florida 38-33. Tennessee now in the top 10 of the AP poll. Mississippi beat Tulsa 35-27. Oregon, after coming off of that blowout loss to Georgia the first week, have ran off a couple of wins here, and now they're ranked 13th. They beat Washington State 44-41. Texas A&M beat Arkansas 23-21. A last-second field goal by Arkansas went off the top of the goalpost. That's a shame. We should really lose that way. Kentucky beat Northern Illinois 31-23. Ohio State put a whooping on Wisconsin 52-21. North Carolina State beat Connecticut 41-10. Alabama beat up Vanderbilt 55-3. Kansas State with an upset over Oklahoma 41-34. Florida State beat Boston College 44-14. USC squeaked by Oregon State 17-14. BYU, coming off a disappointing loss last week, beat Wyoming 38-24. Utah beat Arizona State after firing Herm Edwards. Arizona State still could not do anything. Utah won 34-13. And Washington beat up on Stanford 40-22. This is a down year for the Cardinal. Looking to this upcoming week, we had actually tomorrow night. Just an interesting game. BYU takes on Utah State. That should be very interesting. And then Friday evening, Washington will take on UCLA to start some Pac-12 action this week. And then we go to Saturday. Kentucky, 7th-ranked Wildcats, will go to Mississippi and take on the 14th-ranked Rebels. That should be a very interesting one. Purdue goes to Minnesota to take them on. Texas Tech at Kansas State. Michigan at Iowa. That's going to be fun. Michigan's offense has been incredible. Iowa's offense has not. We'll see what happens this Saturday. Oklahoma and TCU. Utah is hosting Oregon State. Good one here. The 9th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys taking on the 16th-ranked Baylor Bears. That should be a fun one to watch. See which one. We got a lot of good, surprising teams in the top 10 and top 15. So this is really a fantastic year of college football. How about this one? The 22-ranked Wake Forest Deacon Demons taking on 23-ranked Florida State Seminoles. That should be a very interesting one as well. See, now we're starting to get out of these, games where people are making up these, tomato cans. And now we're starting to get into some real powerhouses, right? This one, another one should be good. Alabama, the 2nd-ranked Crimson Tide, taking on the 20th-ranked Arkansas. Coming off of that loss of Texas A&M, as I mentioned. A last-second field goal that hit the top of the goalpost and bounced inward, making it no good. Do they have a chance against Alabama? That's going to be a good one to see. Ohio State's at Rutgers. Penn State hosts Northwestern Wildcats. The 17th ranked Texas A&M Aggies go to Mississippi State. Georgia takes on Missouri. Another good one. North Carolina State, the 10th ranked North Carolina State, takes on the 5th ranked Clemson Tigers. Another good one. Another good test for the Clemson. Georgia Tech is at Pittsburgh. Arizona State looks to be another murderer's row as they take on USC. And Stanford, they have to go to Oregon, take on the 13th ranked Oregon Ducks, and that one should not be close as well. So before we get to the NFL, we just want to talk a little bit about baseball just for a second. I want to congratulate Albert Pujols on hitting .699 and .700 last Saturday, making him the 5th guy, right? Because it's fourth. I think it's maybe it's fourth. It's Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and Albert Pujols to hit 700 home runs. He's been on a tear this second half of the season. He's made it to 700. And even though I'm a Cubs fan and he's been a long time St. Louis Cardinal, a big time Cubs killer, I want to give him respect because it takes a lot to hit 700 home runs, and he has done it, and he's been one of the true icons of baseball, and especially true icons for Latin Americans and Latinos who love baseball. So just want to give a great shout out to Albert Pujols. Congratulations on hitting 700 home runs. And Aaron Judge is still stuck on 60. He's been stuck on 60 for a while now. So, but I've got a feeling he will hit another 1 or 2 home runs in these last upcoming weeks of the season. So, last night the Yankees clinched the division. So, and the Yankees hadn't been. You go back to earlier this year, they were on such a tear that you just thought they were going to run away with it. But again, the second half of the season came and they became almost normal. So but they still won the division by a pretty good margin. So, congratulations on the New York Yankees to becoming becoming the division winners of the 2023. So, and we'll wait to see what Aaron does with the home run record. He's looking for the American League home run record because the Major League, of course, is Barry Bonds at 73. No matter what any of the people want to say. And now, the National Football League. Last Thursday, started off week 3 with the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Offense is getting kind of stagnant in Pittsburgh, but Mike Tomlin has said that he is not going to go away from Mitch Trubisky. So, Mitch Trubisky this week will still be the Steelers quarterback. And the Browns are just... could have had a chance to be 3-0, but they are 2-1, doing good in the absence of Deshaun Watson. Browns 29, Steelers 17. Until then, this past Sunday, the game of the week was awesome. The Dolphins beat the Bills 21-19. It was hot down there, and people were falling out and crazy. Like the end of the game, there were Bills down on the ground. There were Dolphins down on the ground. This was amazing. Josh Allen threw the ball 60-some times, 63 times, I think, in the matchup against the Dolphins, and he tried his best, and he had a chance to tie it up. He just couldn't get the ball there to Isaiah McKenzie, and then after the butt punt, that happened in the Dolphins, giving them a safety, they had a chance. I think what would have been a better chance for Isaiah McKenzie and the Bills is that he tried to run towards the sideline. I think what would have been easy is just for Isaiah McKenzie to catch the ball, go forward, give himself up, leave the ball, let the referee spike the ball, and I think they could have spiked the ball, which either would have given them a chance at a Hail Mary or a very long field goal. But you can't like get down on him for trying to run to the sidelines. It was obviously to make sense. It makes sense. So you can't get on him for that. But the Bills lost. I knew the Bills weren't going to go undefeated. I predicted them to lose one game. I would have had it going later on in the season. But hey, what can you do, right? Dolphins 21, Bills 19. The Bengals still some offensive line issues for Joe Burrow, but they was playing the New York Jets, so it wasn't too bad. They got back on track. They beat the Jets 27-12. What is that with the Las Vegas Raiders? 0-3 after losing to the Tennessee Titans 24-22. That you got last night on NFL Live, Dan Orlovsky showed some tape where it actually seems like that Derek Carr wasn't trying to go to, like he was purposely trying to not go to Devontae Adams. He showed a bunch of he showed about 3 clips where Devontae Adams was open and could have got him the ball for first downs and more. But he checked it down and went somewhere else. So that's very interesting. I think we're gonna look at the Oakland Raiders. They got the Broncos this week, and we're gonna see what they do. Tennessee got their first win of the season, and we'll see if they can. When it comes to the AFC South, it's very insane. The Panthers beat the Saints 22-14. I think as good as Jameis Winston played last year in the first weeks, 2 weeks before he got injured, I think we're starting to see now what the thing with Jameis Winston. I think they turned Taysom Hill to tight end. Maybe they should have kept him as the quarterback. Just because he had a stronger arm doesn't necessarily mean he's a better quarterback. But that's neither here nor there. You talk about a quarterback. I've been very critical of this offseason when you're talking about trying to get Lamar Jackson a record contract. I said that he does not deserve it. And I still say that, although he is playing very well. You can't, take that away from him. The Ravens beat the Patriots 37-26. Mac Jones out for a few weeks with a high ankle sprain, happened to have it on the last play of the game. They're going to go to the veteran Brian Hoyer, and we'll see if Brian Hoyer can do what's going to happen to the New England Patriots. Are we starting to see, maybe realize that what made Bill Belichick was Tom Brady? Could that actually be? That's what we'll find out. The Vikings came back from 10 points down to beat the Lions 28-24. Then Kelvin was going for it on all fourth downs, and then on one fourth down he went for a field goal and missed it. And they didn't make a 4th and 1. I always say if you go for it on 4th and 1, you should make it. You should always make it. If you can't make it on 4th and 1, then you deserve to lose. And the Lions did lose. Listen, if I was a coach, I would always go for it on 4th and 1. I would always do it. And if I don't care where I'm at on the field, because if you can't make a 4th and 1, then you don't deserve to win. Eagles showing their dominance, beat the Commanders 24-8. Jalen Hurts, another spectacular day passing the ball, and the Eagles are just showing up to sack the Washington Commanders. Excuse me, sorry about that. 9 times. Poor Carson Wentz had soaked in the ice tub, I'm sure. So yeah, Eagles beat the Commanders 24-8. The Colts upset the Chiefs 20-17. Some just I don't know. Some bad things happen for the Chiefs, and in this league, it's hard to go undefeated, especially now with an extra game. So you didn't expect the Chiefs to go undefeated, but you kind of thought that maybe they could beat the Colts, and it just did not happen. The Colts are going to win 20-17. There was at halftime of that game, there was some talking between offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes. So much so that Andy Reid had to tell Patrick, go to the locker room. So don't know what went down there. My Chicago Bears slipped by the Houston Texans 23-20. Boy, this here the Chicago faithful are getting a little restless with Justin Fields, and maybe that's necessary. Maybe it's not. It is. He's very early. He's only played maybe 16, 17 games. He's played it. He only played a season, so maybe he's not. You know, maybe he needs time to take a little bit to get there. I always talk about Drew Brees. And Drew Brees, he was not that good for his first 3 years, and then the San Diego Chargers draft Eli Manning. Eli Manning trade him to New York for Phillip Rivers. And then in that fourth year, Drew Brees kind of got it and he caught on, and then they franchised him. And then that fifth year, he was just good. I think great. Accumulating great. That may have been his first Pro Bowl. But he got injured in the last game of the season. And of course, it's his history. He went on to go to New Orleans and become one of the all-time great quarterbacks. Um, and San Diego didn't take anything, lesser. They had Phillip Rivers. He's one of the all-time great quarterbacks. So maybe Justin Fields is just, he needs a time. But there is some restless fans of the Chicago Bears because it just doesn't look like he is, getting better. They would like, they would like to see him try to get better. They would also like to see the Bears throw the ball more, but the Bears are trying to win the game. So, on the Houston side, Davis Mills, they are doing that. They are making him make mistakes, and he made a couple in this game that probably cost him the game. He missed. They were in the red zone, and he threw a bad pass. That was an interception, and I saw it coming. There was 3 wide to his right, and you just knew he was going to try to force it in over there somewhere, and that's what happened. And of course, the last second of the game, he threw a pass. It was tipped and then intercepted by Roquan Smith. So there's some stuff there in Texas that they need to get handled with. But the Bears won. I guess that's the most important thing, winning the game. Well, at least some people might think so. Bears 23, Texans 20. The Jaguars in the upset of the week beat the Chargers 38-10. But Trevor Lawrence is looking pretty good. He's looking like he's now under Drew. Drew Peterson. No, Doug Peterson, and I think Doug has done really well with quarterbacks. So that's going to be something for the NFC South to think of. They're on top of the South right now, and let's see if they can keep it continue. Be a surprising team to come out and be something in the tough AFC. The Rams beat the Cardinals 20-12. The Packers beat the Buccaneers 14-12. That's 12. Yeah, don't know what's up with the Buccaneers offense. Injuries could be a part of it. Tom Brady, whatever he's going through, could be part of it. So we'll see if they can get back on track. And the Packers Aaron Rodgers may have found a guy in Romeo Dobbs. So we'll see about that. Falcons beat the Seahawks 27-23. The Broncos beat the 49ers in an absolute ugly mess of a game. 11-10. And on Monday Night Football, Cowboys beat the Giants 23-16. Cowboys on a roll with Cooper Rush. So as we look ahead to week 4, this coming tomorrow, we've got the Thursday Night Football with the Dolphins and the Bengals. Tua looks like he's got a little bit of a back injury. He suffered in the game against the Bills, but it looks like he will be playing. So we'll just have to see what happens today. Bengals, this is, the time going up against a very tough Dolphins team. We'll see if they can get things done there at home. And then on to Sunday's action. We had the Vikings at the Saints. Vikings looking to keep their momentum from last week, while the Saints are looking to get back on track after the loss to Carolina. But the Seahawks and the Lions, it should be the Lions' chance. Lions have scored a lot of points. This is their chance to get back in the win column against a tough but should be beatable Seahawks team. The Jets at the Steelers, again, we're talking about this. This should be, Pittsburgh's time to get the offense going against a lesser team, the Jets. The Bears are at the Giants. I think these teams, as someone said on Chicago radio, this is Spider-Man meme. I think these teams are going to look at each other and say, hey, I recognize you. And we will see. It's in New York. The Giants are probably favored. I don't look at lines like that, but we'll have to wait and see what they can do. Titans at the Colts, interdivision game here. Colts are at home. Titans coming off a win against the Raiders. Colts coming off a win against the Chiefs. See which one can get their second win of the season, or we're going to have another tie. Boy, if there is another tie with the Colts, have mercy. Their Chargers beat the Texans, and they meet the Texans. Chargers should get back on track here. And I know that in the game last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, Justin Herbert got hurt a little bit with the cartilage in his ribs, but this should be enough talent for the Texans. They did lose one of their receivers, Jalen Guyton, out for a year with torn ACL. So that's one weapon down, but Justin Herbert's got I think enough weapons there to handle the Texans, keep them at bay. The Browns at the Falcons. Again, this is another game that you think the Browns should win. They got the number one rushing game in the National Football League. And if Jacoby Brissett don't make mistakes, they should beat the Falcons. Commanders at the Cowboys. Commanders need to win, and they need to win badly. Because they're slowly but surely coming out of this thing, out of the division. And the Cowboys, they need to keep it continued. There's a lot of talk about Dak, and Dak's coming out early because they didn't have to put a pin in his thumb that maybe he can come back. So Cooper Rush and Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard could once again stay off the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys could put them out of the divisional race and stay in it with the Eagles, who, by the way, are facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Great matchup. Doug Peterson goes back to Philly, take on his old team and his new team with his quarterback. Can they keep on the road? Can Trevor Lawrence once again, can he go into a hostile environment as the Eagle Stadium and take out the Eagles? Or would Jalen Hurts just have another spectacular Sunday afternoon? That's going to be a good one to watch. Another good one, Bills and Ravens. Jamar Jackson's playing fantastic. Josh Allen's playing fantastic. But we know that there are going to be some injuries that still affect the Bills this week. Are they going to be able to stop Lamar Jackson? Or will this be a shootout? We'll have to wait and see. But should be fun. Another fun game in the early window. Now we got the 4 o'clock games Eastern time. The Carolina Panthers are hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Like I mentioned earlier, the Broncos are at the Raiders. That's going to be an interesting game. Can the Broncos offense get back on track? And can the Raiders offense start to do something? Patriots at the Packers. Thought this game might have been a good game, but with Mac Jones out, this looks like another Packers, win, and maybe it won't even be close. But who knows? Still got to say that Bill Belichick is still a very good coach. Even though we may be starting to see that he was a great coach with Tom, but I think he's still a very good coach. So we have to wait and see. Speaking of Tom, Sunday Night Football, they host the Chiefs. The last time these two played was the Super Bowl, and it was in that stadium in Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay was the first team to win a Super Bowl at their building. The first one to play in it and the first one to win it. But also in that season, the Chiefs played the Buccaneers there, and they, ran a roughshod over them. But that was with Tyreek Hill. He is gone now. He is in Miami. So we will see Sunday Night Football. And in Monday Night Football, the Rams at the 49ers. Offense staggered last week with Jimmy Garoppolo running out the back of the end zone doing the Dan Orlovsky. We now see what they can do with the Rams coming on the road. Another rematch. Last time these two played, it was the NFC Championship game in LA. So, first matchup of the season for these two. We'll see what gets down. Rams, they seem to be sputtering a little bit offensively as well. But we'll see which one can handle it. More or less handle the pressure. Nick Bosa on the 49ers and then Aaron Donald from the Rams. Who's going to ball out? We'll have to wait and see, but it should be a good one. All right, so there we have it. Another episode in the books. Be back next Wednesday as we're going to recap what happened this week in college and pro, and then we're going to talk about what's going to look forward to next week in college and pro. Please, if you like what you hear, please go to Anchor.fm, and check out AJTRIP show. There, we have 3 tiers. It's 99 cents, $4.99, and $9.99. You can subscribe, and if you feel like, hey, this is good content, I want to. I want to keep this going. Then you can go there and subscribe, and that will help out a brother. Or you can even go to patreon.com/AJTrip to become a patron. Once you hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you see on my YouTube channel, which is AJTrip, on my Twitch channel, which is AJTrip20, and what video games I play on my Twitch channel and AJTrip20, and what we talk about on my podcast, which is The Word According to Me. I have another one where it's non-sports. Sometimes we get into sports there. But yeah, and then a new episode on there that I have to put out on Monday. You might have some want to talk about. We talk about some of these morons like Andrew Tate and them like that, and maybe we need to stop giving them a platform. So yeah, you can go there. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTrip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.